get this started. Hello, everyone. This is Josh of UMadBro Films. Most of you may know me as Hadokai of Planet Minecraft, both Skinner and site creator. Or not site creator, I wish. Site moderator. There we go. Um, Last time we did Balin here, and the time before Thorin, and the rest of the ones on the left of him. But today we are working on Dwalin, and Dwalin is best, as many have been saying. So let's go ahead and get straight into it. Starting off with this view because it's easier to work with. Alright, let's go ahead and... Oh, he is a great character. Oh well. That just means we have to highlight and define the underlying tones because even though it's gray, there's different shades of gray. You heard it here. Right. Get a large brush to actually fill in the bulk of the coloring. 7, 8. 7, 8, 9. Wait, was that joke told out of order? Oh well. And then let's go with I want to say a gray blue, but that just ends up looking gray. So instead, let's go with a um, rather dark brown. Not dark per se, but a grayish brown. There we go. And that'll be the bulk of his body. There we go. Right. Switch this brush back down to 1 pixel sizing. Fill in his hands. And unfortunately, like with the rest of these skins, we can't, unfortunately, we can't put his cloak in, because simply that's just the nature of Minecraft. We could put it in a cape, but I just don't want to do any of that nonsense with any of these dwarves because they're fighters, they're warriors. Plus, I don't think they actually wore their capes during any of the fighting scenes. No, I really don't think they did. With that aside, let's actually get in the rest of this. He's wearing these to the arm sort of jacket shirt thing with his sleeves rolled up because he likes to show off his arms, his forearms or whatever. And he's wearing more fingerless gloves, but they're not really fingerless, are they? They're more like knuckle busters or something. Because that will do something of that nature. Just like, well, how do I want to do this? Something like that. And that. Starting to look right. Not quite. Sorry guys, you're gonna have to give me a second to think here. This is hurting my mind. Alright, let's go ahead and look at it in the three-dimensional view. Yeah, that shouldn't be like that. Where should that be? Looking almost there. Damn these knuckle buster things. Why must they torment me so? Um, what do you guys think? Okay. No, this is not Gandalf, but Gandalf will be towards the end of the Skin series. Uh, Simply said, I want to save the best for last, as it were. So after we get Dwalin, Oin, Glowing, Feely, and Keely done, then we'll do the last two and best two of The Hobbit. That being Bilbo Baggins, and then finally Gandalf the Grey with his drug using antics. Remember, kids, drugs are bad, okay? All right. I think that looks smashing. How about you guys? No? No responses? Okay. Continuing then. All right, so he's got. Let's see back here. He's got like these sort of light gray, but I'm going to make him a darker gray. I don't know what do you want to call those things. I have no clue what you want to call those things. I should go back into here because he's got this thing coming up like so. Take off his body again. Oh, the humanity! And actually, that looks like it comes down considerably. There we go. That does that quite well. Let's go ahead and fill the top of his arm in so that stops looking so friggin' weird. And actually, let's make that a brighter, more silvery sort of color to differentiate it from the rest of the hand a little bit better. And then we'll add highlights to it to make it blindingly silver. But until then, let us continue. So he's got a dark gray kilt sort of thing, some fur-lined boots that are gray, black, gray. Well, yeah, let's get ahead and get these in here. Actually make the soles of it black. Alright, and let's see here. It's got a dark brown belt, but that'll be a little bit later. For the time being, we need to get a sort of light, pale brown, more mocha in sense. That's right about here. More khaki, actually. And we go back into the 3D view because I'm having a little difficult time imagining in this. Is this front or his back? I don't know. Alright, that's his front. Let's go ahead and add that like so. Let's see. This needs to come up this way more. And this needs to come down this way. And towards the front, actually. Actually, let's bring that around because that'll look weird once we get the actual leg in there. or both legs in. See, now you have actual pattern to it, and it's not going to look like a line stuck together in the middle. Yay! Right, guys? Yay! Not a second line for effect. Meh. Righty then. Let's see here. Now we'll move up a bit into his. Actually, that's got a bit of a greenish hue to it. So, dark. There we go. That's the color we want. Oh, a little bit grayer. There we go. Right. His belt is actually fairly high, so go as high as that. Adding in basically his waistline. And then this is the top of his leg, but we'll make that green to match this because the middle of, say, this imagine is the leg. Here's the middle of the body axis, and it pivots on that axis. And because of that, you can see the front half and the back half of the leg when you're walking. And so that we don't get flashes of different color when you're walking, you basically make it the same color and it disappears. And like movie magic. Right, and this is actually going to go down like such. Hi, Cup of Joe. And then we'll go back into and make this a more palish brown for his belt. And it is a mighty belt, so we'll have to make that too wide. And then his shirt is probably made of the same stuff, but can't really quite tell. Although I do see a bluish gray sort of color. So we'll go in there with that. Sort of like a second belt. Maybe it's a girder. I don't know. I'm going to make a pattern out of it because I can't see really what's underneath his stinging cloak. And let's go with a deep blue to outline it. And actually, let's change that up. Actually, do that. Go for a little bit darker color for the rest of these. And I'm going to assume the rest of his shirt is sort of this dark brownish sort of color. Maybe a little bit darker than it, or it probably needs to be a little bit darker, but meh. And I'm going to actually add a slight diamond patterning to this. Because there is a little bit of that in this. Actually, I need to go back to the 3D view for this. Back or his front? That is his front. That is not how I wanted that. Uh, not how I wanted that at all. with easy, yeah. There we go. Because he is sort of a more, I don't know, you want to say Scottish looking fellow? Kind of. Um, I don't know if I want Dwalin's beard on his chest because it's not that long. I might go with underneath the chin, maybe a little tufts here and there, but other than that, though, I could probably put it on the hat layer, and that would do just about as much of the same effect as what he's got on his face. And in that situation, we run into the thing of how do we add more detail into his chest? Because currently that's kind of pitiful as far as detail goes. Like that. There we go. Right. And here's what we'll do. We'll go with a dark color and sort of add in, kind of like how we did with the other dwarf, the shoulder guard protector thing, but this will be more of a thread um, embellishment, if that makes any sense to you. So kind of like if somebody sewed in the details. Right, and he's got a mighty gray belt buckle. Make it silver. Actually, I like that. Take off his arms, make it easier to work with. Stick his arms back on, and then let's work on his face. So, once again, more gray hair, but his skull is rather, I don't know if that's tattooing or just scars, maybe a little bit of both. Probably a little bit of both. But it's more of a grayish black beard, but I'm going to add a little bit of brown into it. Just to give him a little bit more personality. Right. Getting his facial hair in now. And this is one character I'm actually going to add in um, the big eyebrows. I mean, real big eyebrows. I lied. Right, and then go back into 3D land, yeah. under the head. Right in those whiskery details. And then on the side of the face. And under the side of the head. And then we're going to add a lot of the crazy bushiness he has around the side of his head as well. And this will be all darkened in to make it look proper. I'm going to think his hair actually goes up higher. What? Erase. Huh. Okay, that was a bit odd. Tools weren't fucking for me. That one. Alrighty then. And then we're going to go ahead and add in dark sort of gnashes and whatnot into the top of his head as well. Kind of what's going on there. I'm pretty sure it's still something like, what do you want to call it? Tattooing of some sort. Actually, let's make this a hair lighter. So it doesn't look like hair. Get it? And this will help to give him that sort of Cro-Magnon, like, big forehead thing he's got going. And that's about all she wrote. And let's go ahead and save this and then open her up in Photoshop. Alright. And there we have it. Dwalin. The mighty, the bold, the crazy. I think crazy works. Alright, that. And then, let's see. Now we're going to work with, like I said before, we're going to be darkening in the areas that need to be darkened in first. Just good practice. Add the shadows, add the contours, give things a furry feel if it needs to be hair-like. And you do this by making sort of a more not so rendering but more patterning kind of idea to it. And notice I'm on Photoshop. You have the abilities to change the shadows, the highlights, and then the midtones. And currently, I am on the shadows, so whatever's dark is getting darker, is what's happening. So these things that are considered to be grays or blacks in Photoshop is what's currently getting darkened at the moment. Clicking away. I could be holding, but I like to sometimes go over a single block more. And to be able to do that, you need to let go. And these right here are the under the head, so these need to be very, very dark, but not black because that just ruins it. Is that a racist thing to say? Eh, you mad, bro? No, no, no. We don't condone racism here. Or do we? I forget. No. Now I'm going through and adding, adding shadows underneath layers, meaning, say, this is currently a belt right here. So I'm adding a shadow underneath this. And like this right here is a kilt type thing, so I'm adding a shadow underneath that. And this is a fold over of fur from his boot, so I'm adding a shadow underneath that. And so on and so forth with the different things. Basically giving depth to the skin without actually adding more layers to it. Alright, let's go back to the midtones now. And people always say making Minecraft skins is easy. You have very little pixels to work with. And that's actually what makes it harder to work with. Because every little pixel you make, every pixel you change has a great effect on the outcome of the skin. And this right here is basically where the arm conjoins to the body. And because of that, I make this considerably darker so as to, you want to say, give it a feel that the arm's actually there, attached to the body. Alright, then still need a few little places here and there to darken up or highlight and whatnot. Like a lot of it's going to be this body here. And then this kilt, I'm going to say, because dwarves don't wear dresses, do they? more shadowing to this face. Right. And that basically line sort of implements and suggests that there's a nose right there. And this right here is the underside of the head, so we'll go ahead and darken that in considerably. Actually, I need to do this. That's the bottom side of the beard. And do this because that's the back of the head with the rest of the hair. And that'll be representation of his neck when he tilts his head forward. Or in the off chance that the head goes completely upside down. Because I've seen that happen in Minecraft. Don't ask why or how it did, but it did. Oh, geez, what did I do? And then we'll add in some highlighting or dodging in Photoshop terms. So, make his bald head really shine. And then make these metal pieces sort of shine as well. Tones. Whoa there. And then whenever that happens of colors getting blown out, just put some color back in on top of it. And this is about it. Go ahead and save this. Close it out. Open up Mr. Mineskin 3D. Or Minecraft or MC Skin 3D. More specifically. There's probably an updated version I should get. That would probably have a faster loading time than this, but I'm lazy. I really am. Right, and then where is it? Balin, Biffer, Buffer, Bomber, Dory, Dwalin. And there we have Dwalin. A little bit messy though, so I'm actually going to go in and clean him up. So, for instance, his face right here, I don't like it too much. Take off that helmet layer. Those are good. That's not. It's a little too patterned for my taste. There we go. Take one last walk around it. And I present to you Dwalin. Well, now, there we go. Dwalin. With all his scruffiness, as it were. Anyways, stick around live stream. There's more for you. YouTube, though, gotta click to the next video. I am Josh of pt.9 Films. aka Hadokai of Planet Minecraft. I will see you guys next time.